Good Wednesday morning, my friends. What a crazy morning. I do apologize that I'm a little bit later than normal. We're usually done by now. I had a crazy appointment this morning that I need to get to. So I backed us up a little bit. I'm not gonna try and rush through or miss something as amazing as the full pink moon. It's such a beautiful moon, if you will. It's pink. Actually, let's be honest, the moon itself is not usually pink. The reason it's called the full pink moon is, of course, because of all those beautiful little pink blossoms that come up in the spring. Now, there are places I've seen pictures that aren't covered in snow. I don't have flowers outside. I have snow. I love living in Canada. Oh, the joys. So there are places that do have that beautiful pink blossom, and I envy you. I don't know if you're able to do it on YouTube, but if you have pink blossoms, send them below. Put pictures down, because right now I'm in the middle of a snowstorm. Good times, good times. So today I am going to do a reading. We are going to explore the full pink moon. When I was looking at decks, I had to go with my pink deck. I only have one of them. This is the unicorn or the crystal unicorn tarot. It's done by Pamela Chen. It's very pastel-y and very spring-like. I was going to do it for last week's reading, as last Saturday was International Unicorns Day, but it kind of needed to do this for the pink moon. So I do have a link below to the crystal unicorn deck. And of course, when I was looking at it, we're in the middle of Aries. It's been pretty blunt. I went with the Wisdom Chakra Oracle to help out with some healing and give us some extra guidance. We're being very clearly told that we need to do some action. We're in action stage. So we want some clear advice, and also how we can best go about that clear advice. And I find that the Crystal Wisdom Oracle, or the wisdom, too many wisdoms here. The Wisdom Chakra Oracle is awesome at that. All right, so let's look at the full pink moon. What can my friends expect from the full pink moon? I can tell you that it still feels really blunt energy for the weekend. I know that if you saw my reading for this current week on Friday, that we're in action stage. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing that still with the full pink moon. As my readings, they complement each other a lot of times, or will carry off of. So, oh yeah, soulmate. Now, there's a lot of lingo out there. People use soulmate and twin flame interchangeably. They're not the exact same thing. Soulmates are individuals that we're connected to on a deeper level. Energetically, there's a lot of similarities. We could be in the same astral family. We've walked generations and lifetimes together. Your twin flame, it's like the DNA helix. It's a very intimate, very understanding relationship. So a lot of times when you see a soulmate card, it can mean your twin flame, or it can mean a soulmate. And a soulmate can be that perfect romantic relationship, or it can be a best friend. I have soulmates that are in my life right now that are my best friends. They understand me on a level that no one else can. And that's fantastic. And we can have more than one soulmate because our soul, it's infinite. So the reason we have the soulmate card is that we're pushing them away, whether that be a current partner, a potential partner, or a very close friend. We need to be very mindful of that. There's lots still going on, like always. But there's also that demand and expectation that we've placed on ourselves, that others have placed on us, the stuff we're dealing with. Or sometimes intentionally, but most often unconsciously pushing people away. The full pink moon, calling you on it. Sorry. Going to point a finger and call you on your crap. Did I say before I picked up the cards that I felt it's going to be a little blunt? Yeah. Again, where our expectations, our priorities are being focused in on. And we're wondering how either we're not attracting a good partner or we're pushing them away. We're fighting a lot. That relationship is going down. Where those priorities, where that energy is going, is impacting you. This is not a wow moment where you're like, I've never thought of that. It's more of a, yeah, oops moment, right? We all do it. And especially if you have that soulmate partner, close connection in your life, not only are you doing it, guess what they're doing? You have to be really mindful of the fact that in a relationship, it takes two. And this could be like when I say work, when it says workaholic, sure, it could mean an occupation, it could mean education, but it could mean that the workaholic is that you're coming home from or getting up, going to work, coming home, doing housework. And you're getting into that very task orientated, I must check off all my to-do list box. I'm ignoring those close people in my life. I'm ignoring what's fueling me, what's giving me joy. I just need to get it done. Work, whether it be paid, expected, or a demand, is still work. Okay, so what further insight, wisdom, support, and guidance can we share with my friends for the full pink moon? It's funny. The full pink moon full moons can rock and roll around. It's usually in Aries, as it's usually in April. It can go up, but we're usually looking at an Aries energy. Like it's one of the first full moons in and around the spring equinox. So we have that shift, right? So it's usually a pretty blunt. People are like, it's pink, it's fun. Time to get done. They're calling you on your crap. The Ten of Cups. One of the family cards. I kind of like how the horses don't really look like they're dancing. They almost look like they're headbutting. So if you have two kids, you know what I mean. They're going to put their head down and go. And it's kind of the energy we have. We have kind of a confrontational energy because everybody's trying to get their crap done. So there is a rainbow at the end of this. Being very intentional, being very understanding. These are the two things that are going to help. One, intentional with your energies, with what you're doing. So you have an understanding of what you yourself are doing and how you're impacting others. And that compassion, that understanding that you're trying to meet expectations and demands, just like they're trying to meet expectations and demands. So if you're in a relationship, you know what I'm talking about. We have that understanding. If you're trying to find that soulmate, that twin flame, understand that they're trying to get their crap done. Many times we get frustrated or angry because, well, they're not in my life. They're not here. We're not together. So even finding them, there's a lot of work to that because we are the hardest on people who are closest to us, who understand us the most. So a lot of times when we don't have our soulmate or a twin flame in our life, it's because we have some stuff we need to do for us, just as they have stuff for them. Our soulmate, our twin flame, they're looking for our energetic signature, not a certain bank account, body type. It's all that energy. So if our energy is low and we're focused in on getting that job done, we're not paying attention to our needs on a spiritual or emotional level, we're just on that physical aspect, they're not going to be attracted to us. They're not going to find you because you're going to be busy working. So that balance is going to be really important. So we have the 10 of Cups. It is a family card. It warns of the expectations and demands. This weekend, it's going to be a kind of a topsy-turvy weekend. It's Easter weekend. Many of us are looking at having a family dinner, Easter egg hunt, whatever. We've got expectations and demands. We need to be mindful of that and balance it out. Taking time for you, taking time for them. Really being mindful of how much work we're trying to get done in a 24-hour period. Additionally, taking time for our family. So if you're having to work all weekend, we sometimes have to do that, and that's okay. Making sure that we take that time and send out a quick text, quick Zoom meeting, just to connect in, because they're going to help nurture you and help stabilize you. Because let's be honest, we've got lots to do. There's a lot of expectation and demand put on us by others and self. Our family can really help us out with that. They can add to it, they can help us out. So being mindful of that and kind of checking in. I love it. I don't know if this one's going to come up. This is the Page of Swords. I don't use this deck often because it's very pastel-y and it's hard to come up on camera. But this is the Page of Swords. Sure, we got crap to do. So what's going on? We can't forget that, hey, it's Easter. Have some fun. Enjoy. Get out of our workspace. Even if you have to work this weekend. It happens. But we have to balance things out. And balance is going to be key because without it, you're going to miss out. And if you're trying to find your soulmate, your twin flame, you need that balance. You need that energy. Like I said, soulmate, twin flame, they're looking for an energetic signature, not a specific individual. So, Page of Swords. Page is that fun, playful energy. It's a childlike energy. But that sword is all about using our frontal cortex, that thinking, not just knowledge, but actually processing it. So we know what we want to do, have to do. Our heart center, emotion, fear, anger, frustration, it slows us down. We need to use that brain to push us forward, to help put that pathway forward so that we are connecting into our soulmate. We're connecting into energies that are going to really help us out rather than feeding that fear, that pain, sadness, because a lot of people are coming pretty harsh. I want you guys, I think it was even starting late summer. Caution, winter's going to be a bear. We need to use some of our tools to overcome that. Hopefully into spring. And if you're like me and there's a snowstorm outside, you don't feel like it's spring, you still feel like it's winter. But calendar says we're technically into spring. So we've hit that mark and we're going forward. We now need to, again, use that frontal cortex. And it's not shocking that our processing, where we start to think and plan and create, is all up in the front part of our brain, right by our third eye. We've got the cups and the knowledge base here. So we're using up here to help us get out of some of that rut, that workaholic energy of got to do this, this, and this, get it all done. And then I go to bed and I rinse and repeat to do the same thing over and over again. Missing out on some fulfillment, fun, joy, love, all in one, because we've got those blinders on, our head down, and we're getting the job done. Just missing out on what we wanted to do. We're missing out on some of the better parts of it. The love, the joy, the happiness, stuff that really feels good. The Hermit. He looks so funny with the little hood on. The Hermit. Of course, we're looking at that inner aspect. Part of that knowledge is understanding you. Understanding, okay, what is your pattern? What does this look like? We all have different patterns. We all have different expectations and demands. We all have different families that are going to impact us and ask for stuff. We need this. You have to do that. Looking at it from a kind of, if you were going to explain your situation to someone else, that reflection helps you get a really good grounding on where you're currently at and how you can start to break some of these. Do we need to have work? Yes. Whether that is a paid occupation or school, we need that foundation, because if we don't have that stability, we can't build off of it. There's a very well-known sociological triangle. On the base is that stability, those basic needs. So yes, we do need that. And you move up to spirituality, which is at the top. We need that connection. We need that base. And the triangle is a very predominant shape, because you've got your physical health, your mental health, and your spiritual health. One of them starts to wobble and topple, the whole thing goes splat. And that's what we saw over the winter. So yes, many of us are trying to really strengthen that base of your basic needs. We can't kind of shift out of that too much, but we want to make sure that we're not just keep doing the same. Look at that situation. Look at your job. What do you like? What parts don't you like? Because there's always stuff that we're like, this is not what I like. How can you make it better for you? How can you start to put priorities in your life so that you can start to connect into some of that stuff that's a lot of fun? That's joy and happiness. The soulmate is a red card. So, snap, crackle, and pop. They all decided to go down. So this, as you can see, these borders, these cards are connected to each chakra. So this one's your root chakra, and this one's your throat chakra. Throat chakra talks about pretty much your truth, communication, speaking your truth, being in that true song, basically. Your root, stability. Exactly. It's creating your workaholic. So that hermit, that reflection, that time for you, building you up will help. Goes in going, I think I'm going to reflect today. It's going to be fantastic. Don't go along with it. Some boundaries there. Set an alarm, ask for 15 minutes, and just write stuff down. Take it in smaller chunks. Then reward yourself with some fun stuff, some creative endeavor, stuff that you really enjoy doing. So it's a reward, and it becomes less and less hard. This is the Seven of Pentacles, telling you that during the full pink moon, we have some work to do, which I just talked about. We need to, like I said, give ourselves that time. No one's going to do it for us. And frankly, if someone told you that you needed to change X, Y, and Z, that's their perspective. And if you did change X, Y, and Z, you're doing what they want. That's an expectation of them. Not as invested as if you put in the work and said, okay, so this is what I need to do. Don't worry about a plan. Just start to look at that reflection piece. Give yourself that general scope. Remember, we have the page here. The page is telling us that we need to have that play. So play is important, but it also is a page. They don't have that full perspective and are going to be able to assemble things. They're just going to go, okay, I want to go over there. Over there looks good. So that's what we need to do. Take it in smaller perspective, little chunks, baby steps. If we do that, we reinforce that stability. So our ego doesn't come in and go, oh my God, you're changing. No. Bringing in fear, doubt, anger, sadness. Your ego knows exactly how to push all those buttons. And then you start to question you. Write it down. So when you're like, why am I doing this? You go back. And literally, I've done this because when I've really needed to do some shifting on a piece of paper, why I need to do X, Y, and Z. And it's right there. You're like, oh. So when my ego goes, oh my God, why are you doing this? You're going to go, oh, it's right here. I already did that work. We're good. So we really reinforcing the fact this is stuff we need to do. But A, it's not going to take long. And B, it should not be something that you toil over where you're like, oh my God, what if I'm wrong? You're not wrong. It's stuff that's been sitting and it's kind of really weighing you down. I love this card. The Four of Swords. So fours, again, this in numerology and tarot, you're looking at a stable number. The full pink moon wants to really reinforce that stability so that you're able to feel stronger to do some more of this work. So that's why I said, you know what, do some reflection, write it down. I always encourage people to have a binder, and you can get all sorts of fancy with dividers and paper and everything. Go school with it. The old school will work. Your phone is technology, right? That technology can be impacted by high and low vibrational beings, including your ego. That's when files go missing, they become corrupt. Why is that happening? Because you've got a low vibrational support. Same can be said for the high vibration. However, the high vibration, when they help us out, it's not so much of us swearing at our computer or our phone. It's more of like, oh, this is the best. This is the coolest. Doesn't help when you've lost everything that you're looking at. A binder's harder for your ego and lower vibrational beings to impact. Okay, so write it down. And you can use like fancy pens if you want. The dollar store has lots of really great stationery. Four of Swords talks about that rest and rejuvenation. So take some time, write the stuff down, then have some fun. Take some time for you. Rejuvenate you. Whether that be doing some creative aspect, and creativity is just how you express you in a fun manner. It doesn't harm anybody. Actually, push comes to shove, it actually inspires people. So you can do that. You take some time for you. Rejuvenate you. Ways you can do that, of course, meditation. And no, I don't mean going into a room and sitting in quiet or some music and hum. No, that's not going to help you, because a lot of times that's when our ego starts to come in. I have 3 meditative playlists, a mindfulness playlists, and 4 healing playlists. They're all guided. And they're all free. So you can use them as much as you like. That can help to restore and rejuvenate you. Things like a bubble bath. Water is a fantastic releasing element, and it can really help to restore and rejuvenate us. Taking that time for you to build you up so that when we start to move on some of this some of this reflection, you feel stronger. And we have the Six of Swords. That movement, just saying, it's going to happen. Talks about movement from choppy and uncertainty to placid and abundant. We're carrying lots of stuff. The stuff that's what holds us back. Stuff that creates dynamics and situations that make us, well, shift into that workaholic mode. It's caused some rifts, but we're going to keep moving with it. We're going to take it with us, and we're going to start to work and release some of these swords as we start to feel stronger and as things start to move into a more positive environment for us. So know that the full pink moon doesn't want major shifts. It wants that aha, that fun, that rejuvenation, that understanding, because there is movement to be had. This full pink moon is going to help you be ready for it. Okay, I'm going to end off this reading on any further insight, support, and guidance that will help my friends get on that little boat and move themselves forward. Which, for those who are looking for their soulmate, that little boat on the Six of Swords is exactly how you're going to get to it. I love my cards. Quest. Did I just not say you're going to get in that little boat and go? This, again, is your throat because it's blue. It's a better blue to have than the Workaholic because it talks about that movement and understanding where we're at may not be exactly where we want to be. There may be elements we want to take. Some of them are good. Some of them are amazing. Others are just kind of, I don't really deal with this. We need to know that we have that quest, that adventure, have that enthusiasm and fun to start. Just kind of like the Frodo, when he started off on his major quest, there was excitement and enthusiasm. That knowledge that there was something that needed to be done. Just like we know that there's something we need to do. Maybe something we're not too thrilled about doing, but nonetheless, we need to do it. Complacency, because we've been avoiding what we need to do for quite some time. We've been missing out. We've been feeling isolated and alone. Stop pushing people away. Start to connect in. Like I said, those soulmates can, yes, be the relationships we're looking for, can be connected into our twin flame, but it can be those friends that are really, really close to us. We've been pushing them away. We've been pushing family away. They've been pushing us away. So it's time to shift gears. Let's get that work done. So we start to feel connected. We start to feel that joy and that happiness that we're looking for. Rejection. There's a lot of things we fear in life. Rejection is one of them. Some of it is that fear of being rejected by those very close people, because we are shifting, we are changing, just like they're changing. The last 3 years, it's been one of those things where we've had to change. The universe came in and said, nope, change. There's that fear of, well, what happens if I get back into some sort of relatively normal pattern, connect back in with them on a regular basis for what I've become? First, as many of us reject ourselves, that negative self-talk I talked about. We need to start to look at how we're treating us and that fear of those close people. Part of that reflection, part of what the Hermit and the Page are encouraging you to look at. What is that fear and where is it based on? Now, if you have a lot of that rejection of self, and we do go through times where we're really, really brutally hard on ourselves. That meditation that I did with Archangel Raguel was back in 2020. Actually, as COVID hit, I started doing meditations because I did some reflection going, okay, how can I help the most people out right now? And that's what I got. Meditation. Like, cool. And it's just kind of exploded to what I've got now. And it's going to keep going because I've got other stuff that they've told me I need to do. So if we're having that fear and that rejection of self, The meditation with Archangel Raguel, it's a balancing meditation of thoughts and beliefs of self. It's a fantastic way to energetically shift that perspective of self and start to release some of these fears without going in and going, I feel that I am blah. No. We don't want to traumatize ourselves or reinforce this. Archangel Raguel will support you in getting rid of it. Just so it's a nicer release than trying to talk our way. We don't want to look at too much of what it is we're doing to ourselves. We already know that. We already know how it feels and it's gross. So it's a tool for you. Like I said, it's free. So that's an important piece. Important piece for me. Now the full pink moon is being very, very clear. We need to be shifting into some of the more positive, supportive environments, opposed to some of the ones that are really just bringing us down. We all have that. Shifting where our energy is going, shifting our perspective, raises our vibration. It's more in with like energies, like perspectives, and ideas. That's what we really want. We want to get away from the naysayers and get into those who are going to build us up. As we build them up, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. If any of my live friends who are joined in right now have any questions, please feel free to write them on the side. If you're seeing this later, leave it below. Like I said earlier, if you actually have spring and there are like flowers in like other colors other than white and gray, to see it, because it's not happening for me. It's snowing. Again, still. Yay for Canada. So I should say tomorrow I will be live again in the morning to do my weekly reading because it is Good Friday this week. I'm going to do the week review one day early, just so that it's not conflicting with too many people's schedules. All right, I don't see anything on the chat, so I'm going to say thank you so much for joining me. Until tomorrow, my friends.